Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the pre-event press conference for the 6 hours, the total 6 hours of Spa-Francorchamps, the first round of the 2018-2019 FIA World Endurance Championship Super Season. And we've got a panel of 5 throughout the classes today. From left to right, we have Anthonio Felix de Costa from BMW Team MTech. Welcome, Anthonio. Maxime, the hometown hero from Aston Martin Racing. Fernando Alonso making his debut for Toyota Gazoo Racing. Welcome, Fernando. Tony Kanaan from Ford Chip Ganassi Racing. Hi, Tony. And to Egidio Perfettie from the Team Project One Porsche team. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon, gents. We're going to start with Fernando, if we can. A new adventure for you, Fernando, into endurance racing. Just give us a bit of an overview of what you've thought of endurance racing generally so far, the Toyota car, and what you're expecting from this super season.
Well, hello everyone. Well, I think it's going to be an interesting season. Obviously, you know, we done some tests already in Spain mainly and Portimao, and then obviously I missed the prologue. I was racing in China, I think, and now it's really the first time we meet with all the traffic and all the other cars. So yeah, definitely still a lot to learn, but you know, step by step, trying to enjoy as much as I can every single lap out there.
It's afternoon, André. Fernando, it started out well today, of course. Quickest time in the free practice one session in readiness for qualifying in the race on Saturday. One thing you can't simulate is, as you mentioned, getting through traffic. How are you looking forward to going through the classes and watching your back and also looking ahead as you're lapping cars this weekend?
Well, obviously, as I said, you know, it's a learning curve and something that I will keep improving. Hopefully now in practice, trying to get as much as information as possible and judge a little bit the speed difference between the classes. And we've been training a lot in the simulator, this kind of traffic and this kind of situations. So I hope I'm as prepared as I can. And yeah, we'll see on Saturday. But I'm not too worried about the traffic management.
Thank you, Fernando, and good luck in your debut this weekend. Moving over to André Lotterer from Rebellion Racing. André, it's always nice to race at home, a home of sorts for you. Tell us a little bit about your affinity with Spa, your memories of racing here in prototypes, and just getting the job done on home turf with your home fans here.
Yeah, sorry, I'm in a smaller team now. We don't have babysitters. Yeah, it's always great to race here. As you said, Belgium's home race. I'm from Germany, but I grew up here, and I even had my go-kart engines prepared here at the go-kart track back in the days. So it's a great track for everyone, but especially for me too. So it's a race I've won before, I think once or twice, and I'd like to win it again, obviously. It's going to be difficult, but we have a lot of work still with our car. It's quite new, and I haven't driven it this morning. It's just my teammates. So let's see how it feels in the afternoon.
It's a third team in as many years for you. A new challenge as a non-hybrid LMP1 challenger. Tell us about sort of shifting across from hybrid to non-hybrid, and also the fact that there's new tyres this year. There's a new range of tyres from Michelin, and you're in a good position to compare the two from the old to the new.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of difference to drive the car, although we have quite good downforce, so the car is fun in the corners, but it's a lot more simple, everything. We don't have all the systems, the hybrid. It involves a lot of programmation to run the hybrid car with a four-wheel drive. So here we focus a lot more on fine-tuning the setup, and still, like I said, the car is young. We need to improve it a lot to feel comfortable with everything. But the potential is quite good, and I hope we can have a good battle with everyone, and that it will not be just a one-man show for them.
Thank you, André, and best of luck for the super season. We'll move across now to Maxime from Aston Martin Racing. Good to see you, Max. Your story is of particular interest because it's your home race, but also you've moved across from another manufacturer to Aston Martin Racing. Just give us an idea of the bedding in process for you over the winter and learning about an all-new car as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's like you said, my home race because I'm really from Belgium. but no, it's nice to start the season here in Spa. It's always a nice track to be, and with Aston Martin Racing, it's quite a new challenge. I come from BMW, and I think it was the right moment to go there. Aston Martin is a lot more involved. We are coming with a new Vantage GTE. We have done a lot of testing. The car has done 35,000 kilometers over the winter as a new car, which is quite impressive. So, looking forward for the season. It's my first WEC season. I've done Le Mans a few times, but first time in a really pro class in WEC. So, looking forward to race.
And of course, there's a few changes in LMGT Pro this season. Not only the fact that your old employees are here as well, racing, joining the party, but one of the key changes is obviously the pit stops, because you're now allowed to change tyres and refuel at the same time. Thoughts on that and how things will fare in the races this year?
Yeah, it will definitely change a bit the strategies, and the driver change are going to be quite important, because we have to be really fast, especially if it's a half-tank fuel or in these kind of cases. So I think it will influence the strategies also, with a bit more limited in tires also. So it's more about management, but I think we have quite a really strong GTE class, which is really competitive with 5 brands, 10 cars over the season. And I think it's going to be a really great battle.
Thank you, Max. Good luck to you and Aston Martin Racing this season. And moving over to Anthonio, Felix da Costa. Anthonio, welcome to the WEC. Another chapter in your varied and successful career. A new car as well. Obviously, the M8 has been developed these past few months. As a driver, tell us about how satisfying it is to, first of all, coming to the top level of endurance racing, and then to have a real detailed hand in developing this new car.
Yeah, it's really good to be here. I think this one's not on. It's really good to be here. I mean, in the last 4 or 5 years, my career has been changing quite a lot, from almost missing out on Formula 1 to going straight to DTM and Formula E. Everything's so different from each other, and now coming to the World Endurance Championship is another new step. Everything is new for me, it's new for the team. Obviously, the team comes from DTM as well. And we're just keeping an open mind at the moment, learning as we go, trying to understand all the aspects of endurance racing. Also, for me as a driver, it's hard to change my mindset sometimes, but we're just learning as we go. The car has been through a very intense off-season testing, lots of endurance testing, and it went well. The car is really, really nice to drive. It's really good to be back on a good tire on the Michelin, and being able to push hard. But yeah, we still so many questions even for us about the car, and how long we can be on these tires, and depending on the track and temperatures, and how to race other classes. It's hard for me having cars coming from behind all the time. I'm not used to looking in the mirrors that much, so it's obviously a massive challenge. But it's really excited to be here. It's like Max said, the GTE Pro is full of good manufacturers and drivers, so it's going to be a tough fight, but I'm looking forward to it.
And of course, it's very much the battle of the brands, the big manufacturers in LMGT Pro. 5 manufacturers now. How much expectation are you putting on those fierce rivalries with Ford, Ferrari, Aston Martin, and yourselves, of course?
We're here to win. That's clear. How long it's going to take for us to win, I don't know. I have to be honest, I understand zero about BOP. I have no idea how this works. And, I try and do my job as good as I can. And, with the auto BOP system that the WEC has, hopefully we'll have the cars very similar to each other, and then let us fight it out on track. And it's going to be a mix of speed and reliability, and, whoever of these 5 manufacturers can do the best job there is gonna take the big one at the end. So as I said, for me, it's still a big learning curve. I have great teammates with a lot of experience, and we're learning a lot from each other. So hopefully we'll do the right thing, and we'll be able to, first of all, to go for the win in Le Mans, and then obviously the championship is a goal for us as well.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, Anthonio, and good luck to you for the season ahead. Moving over to Tony Kanaan, fresh from a red eye over from Indianapolis, one legendary track to another this weekend, Tony. And we were doing some research. We think it's 25 years since you've been to Spa and raced here back in 1993.
Thanks. That makes me feel old. Yeah, 1993. Probably some of these guys were not even born when I was here. And the chicane was the other way around, so I was a little confused this morning. But yeah, it's been a long time.
And Ford are obviously going into their third year of the World Endurance Championship this season. And Andy and Harry are obviously wanting to mount a championship campaign for the super season. What's your frame of mind in helping them do that? Are you going to be really pushing to get them off on the right foot this weekend?
100%. It's a big responsibility. They have a full championship ahead of them. They're extremely kind to me to let me do a couple hours of this race to get in preparation for Le Mans, which they really didn't need me for this weekend. But especially with the schedule, my schedule the way it is right now, I'm racing every weekend for the next 3 months between WEC and the IndyCar. But it's great. I mean, I'm obviously going to try to stay out of trouble and help them out. We do have a good car. Seems like this is a fun racetrack. I was able to do all my 5 laps this morning after a 12-hour flight. So, I'm excited. I think we have a good group of guys. Larry, Harry, and Andy and I, we raced Daytona together the first time. So they invite me back, so I'm extremely excited.
Thank you, Tony. Best luck this weekend for you. Moving over to another debutant, Egidio Perfettie from Team Project One. Egidio, great to see you here. You're moving into the top line of endurance racing, a real big new challenge for you and a new team with the Porsche. Tell us how you're looking forward to this weekend and making your debut here.
Yeah, obviously, it's going to be a great adventure. I'm very pleased to be able to join such lineup of drivers in the championship. I've done a bit of Porsche racing mostly, so in the Carrera Cups and stuff. I've also been able to do the Michelin Le Mans Cup, so I know a little bit, or I was watching intensely the WEC Championship. And I'm very excited, and I've been watching the mirror already this morning. There's a lot of adjustment to take place, but we still feel confident that we'll have a very good season.
And if I may ask, your international, your nationality is of interest. You obviously got lots of Italian blood in you, but you race under a Norwegian license and live in Holland. Tell us the full story there.
Yeah, well, I was born in Switzerland, but mostly I'm Italian. My mother was Norwegian. And I've raced and lived in Asia also for the last 10 years. So now it's a couple of years that I'm in Holland and very much enjoying it. So hopefully the jet lag won't be a problem when we get to travel farther.